Welcome to the Divorce Angel podcast. I'm your host, Tanya Summerton. Attention business owners, senior managers and executives. Your successful separation begins right now. We have the answers to the questions you did not even think to ask. Let's face it, you're already successful in your career and we're here to help expand your knowledge and limit your costs by designing a strategy for your divorce. We take all that business knowledge you've acquired and we put it to work. With proven strategies, systems and processes, we've saved our clients tens of thousands in legal fees and helped define their future. And now we're doing the unthinkable. We're revealing the secrets the lawyers have tried to hide and giving you our formula for 5 steps to a seamless divorce. We're changing the world one divorce at a time, so stay tuned. Hey everyone, and welcome back to this week's podcast. So as I record this today, just a little bit of honesty right now as we go into this podcast. The people next door are demolishing their house. Literally, there's been cranes, they've knocked down the whole front end of their house. So please excuse me if you're hearing banging and things like that. And because of the noise, I can't work in my office. So I'm down in my kitchen recording this podcast. But you know what? On a positive side, I'm grateful that I still have opportunity to be able to do this for you guys and get it out there. So today I wanted to talk about something that I've learnt. I've learnt since my divorce many years ago and my evolution as what I would like to say. I'm just peeling off more and more layers of my life as I get older. Like I'm more open now to things that I don't think I truly saw before. Like they were in front of me, but I really did not see them or understand what I was witnessing, seeing and feeling. But something I have learnt is where you are right now is a reflection of you. It took me such a long time to truly understand what this meant. But think about it. Where you are right now in your life is a reflection of your decisions, of your choices, and many other things, your environment, all of those sorts of opportunities, some may say they're not so much opportunities, but all of those things together have got you where you are right now. They have you feeling how you are right now, whether that be good or bad or sad or happy. These are all a reflection of where you are right now and a reflection of you. So my mentor has this saying, and it is, you are where your attention is. And what he means by that is if you concentrate on the good or you concentrate on the bad, you get more of those things back in your life. So for instance, if you're concentrating on lack or scarcity or hardship, you seem to bring more of that back into your life. Whereas if you concentrate on things such as gratitude and, some may say abundance or happiness, then you get more of that in your life. It's taken me a long time, folks. It really has taken me a long time to fully understand what this means. Now, I've talked before about the difference between knowing and understanding. Like we can know something and we've got knowledge of it and we can understand it because we've read a book and we may have heard about it. But the difference between the two is when you understand something like a broken arm, you understand what it means to have a broken arm because, maybe one of your kids has had a broken arm, maybe you've been to the hospital, you've seen someone with plaster on your arm. So you understand what a broken arm is, but you don't fully know what a broken arm is unless you've experienced it. And I've never had one, so I don't fully know what it's like to have a broken arm. But when we're living our lives, what we find in many cases is knowing what gratitude and abundance and happiness actually is from experiencing it. Now, this is where the shift happens because right now no matter where you are or what you're dealing with, you're probably feeling the complete opposite to those things. You're probably struggling maybe to even find some gratitude in your life right now because everything seems so bad. But this is where you can change your life. If you can master the skill of actually stopping those thoughts as you start to feel them and you change them, you can maybe start to feel or start to stop those negative feelings and those spiraling out of control, depressions that some people have been known to go into. And how we do that is by frequency and vibration and sound. You might be saying, well, what does that mean, Tanya? That does not make any sense. But there's actual proof that our thoughts change our feelings, and when we change our feelings, we change our vibration. And vibration is what actually we send out into the world. So I want you to ask yourself, has there ever been a time when you felt at the top of your game? You felt like nothing could go wrong. And imagine when you walked into the room when you felt like that, everyone turned around and looked at you. And there may even have been times, and I can recall one right now as I'm recording this, after I'd left my husband and I was at work, I think all of a sudden it just clicked what I'd achieved, that I had this freedom that I hadn't felt for a long time, and I really started to realise the opportunities that I could have in my life. And I remember walking through a corridor and people were just saying to me, well, Tanya, what's happened to you? Something's so different. What's happened? And I didn't actually know what they were talking about. Now, many years later, when I look back, my frequency was so high because emotionally, I just felt so alive. I felt so happy. I felt like I had broken through. I felt like I was on my right track. Everything just was right for me at that moment. And people were commenting on, oh, you look different. Well, I didn't look any different at all. I was still exactly the same person. I hadn't had a haircut. I hadn't, lost any weight. Nothing like that had happened. So what was it that people were noticing? And now, with all the knowledge that I have and fully understanding this concept, it was my frequency and my vibration that they were sensing. I was sending that out to the world. Now, if we talk about the law of attraction, for instance, the law of attraction works in a very similar way. The law of attraction is where you put your attention. So stop and ask yourself, are you actually repelling whatever it is that you want right now? Because if you're concentrating on the lack and the scarcity and how hard everything's going to be, then if you think about it, using the law of attraction, what you're actually doing is you're repelling all of the things that you actually want because you're continually thinking about all the things that you don't have, all the worries in your life. And then that frequency that you're sending out around you is just bringing more of that negativity back into your life. So it's like this perpetual loop. Think about it this way. Think about gravity or momentum. If you were standing there and all of a sudden you felt like you were going to fall over, that once you start to fall, the only way you can stop is either by putting your arm out to try and prevent you from touching the ground, or maybe someone catching you or being able to stop you from falling. So they're preventing that forward momentum. And that's what I want you to start to think about now with what we're talking about today. Your life is a reflection of you. And I want you to start to think about if you were falling and someone was either going to catch you or you were going to put your arm out and to halter, just to stop right there so you didn't go any further, you need to do the same things with these thoughts and what you're concentrating on. So if you're thinking, I can't do this, everything's going to be bad, how am I going to survive? I'm not going to have enough money. Whatever it is that you're worrying about, your vibration and frequency is so low, what happens is you're bringing more sadness, you're bringing more unhappiness, you're bringing all of those feelings back to you continually over and over again. So what you have to do is stop the momentum, stop that falling that we've been talking about. And to do that, you've got to catch yourself. So the way around this is, as you're feeling these emotions, just say to yourself, stop, just stop. And I want you to go back and think about something that you should be grateful for, because everyone's got something in their life, no matter how small, that they should be grateful for. And to try and illustrate this point, I want to tell you about a very close family friend of mine right now. So a few weeks ago, we went and stayed with her and her husband, and they are just the most lovely, salt of the earth people. She's one of the most caring women I have ever met in my life. And you will hear me say many times, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend your time with. She's without a doubt one of those people that if I had to pick and choose, she would be in my 5. She's just amazing. So while we were there, she was saying to me, I'm just having trouble eating. She said, it feels like, I don't know what it's like to have had my stomach stapled, but I eat a little piece of toast or some toast and I feel full. Anyway, to cut a long story short, she was doing something, she didn't feel well, she started to vomit, so her husband took her to the hospital. Now this happened on a Thursday, and by the Friday, so within 24 hours of her going to the hospital, she had a diagnosis that absolutely has changed her life forever. She's got cancer in so many places in her body that it is heartbreaking. She got it in her stomach, in her lungs, in her bowel, in her ovaries, and some other places as well. Now, can you just imagine, put yourself in her position just for this moment. One day she thinks everything is okay, and the next day she gets this news, so overnight, that her life will never be the same again, and who knows? I don't want to put it out there, but it does not sound good for her, and even, she's using the word terminal. Now, what does this mean? Here she is, and one day she's going to work, she's looking after everyone else, she's doing what she thinks she was here to do, and striving for retirement and all the things that we think we have to do every day. But overnight, her life changed. Now, when I said to her, "Are you in any pain?" she said, "No, I've got no pain whatsoever." Still to today, like this was, this diagnosis was within the last 7 or 8 days. Still to today, she's got no pain. But the gratitude this woman shows is next level amazing. The gratitude that, I've got no pain. And every little thing that someone else now is doing for her is such a lovely gift that even though she's fearful of what the future looks like, and she said, there's nothing I can do about it. I just need to do what I'm instructed to do, try my best. But every day she finds some form of gratitude, some reason to get back up, some reason to keep going. Now, she's in a place where I don't even know, to be honest. I've thought about it and wondered, would I have the strength to be the same as she is? I'd hope that I would, but I don't know until or if I was ever put in that position. But sometimes we don't fully understand that even just the sun shining, even just the grass being mowed, even just having a roof over our head, in the current environment that we're living in with COVID, just having a job is a major accomplishment at the moment. But you still hear people complaining about their jobs, complaining that, oh my God, my boss is doing this, they've cut my hours, they've done all this. Stop. Some people don't even have a job. Like, what the hell? Some people do not even have a job right now. Some people's lives are completely in disarray, and people still do not fully accept how happy they should be just by getting a pay packet. They still want to see the bad in it or what's not going right for them. So you may or may not be asking yourself, so what should I do now? And it's easy. It's so easy that we miss it. It's so easy that we've made life so complicated that we overthink everything. But if you're lucky enough to be listening to this podcast right now, that alone tells me that you're a lucky person, because you're one of a small number of people, when you look at how many people are on earth, that has the ability to listen to this. Millions and millions of people that don't even have that ability. And gratitude is where this starts. And it doesn't matter what you're going through in your relationship. There's got to be some lesson there. There's got to be something there that is positive. Because when I help you, I help myself. It's all about the law of reciprocity. When I help you, I help myself. And I'm so grateful to be able to simply just do this for you, to share what it is that I've learnt, because one little bit of what I've learnt could be a light bulb moment for you. And you go, yeah, actually my relationship is bad. Or maybe it's not bad. Maybe it's that you've just had this awakening and you know that there's more, and it's actually not that your relationship is bad. Maybe your relationship is meant to be what it is, and it's just that you're searching for more. You've gone to a new level of, let's call it evolution, and you're searching for something better in life. And I'm not saying that whether you've been married for 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 30 years wasn't great. Maybe there's just something else out there, and you've got to be grateful for whatever it is that's got you to where you are right now. Maybe you've got to be grateful for the money that you've got in the bank. I'm talking to a lawyer yesterday, and he was telling me about, and this stuff makes my blood boil, about a couple that he's just finished a court case for. The client was the husband, his client was the husband, and the wife was after quite a lot, was really ridiculous, to be honest. And this is where it comes back to the law of reciprocity. Why the hell does someone think they deserve more than they really do? And then the lawyers get involved, and then the lawyers go, yeah, you are entitled to that. So ridiculous what this woman wanted, that, she was happy to actually see her husband not see her children, to accuse him of some of the things that none of us would ever say about anyone else. But you can marry someone, you can have kids with them, then you can accuse them of just these deplorable things just so you get the right to control the children and to have more money. But then once it went to court, it became evident of her lies, and the judge obviously said, not okay. She wanted him to pay her $1,000 a week spousal maintenance. She wanted him to have visits with the children only when someone else is around, and she wanted 85% of the overall pool. Now, she spent $150,000 on legal fees just to try and make those points, but this is the killer. We're talking about an asset pool now that is only worth $180,000 alone. So she spent all of that money to make a point, to try and hurt the other party. But that's not what does not make any sense to me. Her life is a reflection now of her decisions. Everything's fallen apart for her. Well, I'm assuming it has, because yesterday, where she thought she was going to get all the money, get all the kids, get everything else, and get some, massive spousal maintenance from a guy that can hardly even afford to live, is ridiculous. And the lawyers were enabling her to think that this is all possible. Can you see where the law of reciprocity, and you are where your attention is, has caused her now to probably feel like she's very much a victim, that everything's gone wrong. I can't believe this has happened to me. Well, just consider for 1 minute if she looked at this completely differently and she thought to herself, all right, what's fair and reasonable for both of us? Firstly, she wouldn't have spent $150,000 on legal fees, so that means that would be in the family pool. It means that the kids probably haven't been pulled from pillar to post. It means that she hasn't made all of these accusations have been proven not to be true. Her and her ex-husband might have a relationship that they can talk about, their children growing up and those sorts of things. She probably does not feel the way she does right now, because my interpretation of it would be that she would be feeling very upset and, who knows, she would be feeling pretty bad, I would suspect. And at the end of it, she's got a far worse outcome than what she would have done if she'd only just sat down and they took it from a place of gratitude. I'm so grateful that I maybe met you. I'm grateful that we've got these children. I'm grateful that we build this life. But now it's time for us to go our own separate ways. And what would have happened would have been a completely different outcome. So what I want you to do right now, I want you to ask yourself, if you are where your attention is right now, what are you concentrating on? And using the momentum in your life and using the law of attraction, are you attracting just back what you are worrying about? And do you need to stop? Do you need to stop right now, stop your thought process and change it, and just be grateful? Just be grateful for the littlest thing. Because who's to say that maybe, just like my friend who one day, went to work and the next day had this awful diagnosis, it could happen to any of us. We just need to live our best life right now. We just need to live our best life right now. And you might be saying, Tanya, it's easy for you to say you've been through it and you're out the other side. But I'm telling you, because I've been there, I'm telling you because I've lived it, I'm telling you because I witness it every day with these things that the lawyers are telling me. Not that my clients do any of these things, because I would never allow it. But when they tell me these stories, it breaks my heart to think that so many people are collateral damage of the wrong decisions, the wrong thoughts, the wrong feelings, the wrong vibrations. And so go back to that time when you walked into the room and people said to you, wow, what's going on in your life? You look different. Go back to that feeling. How do you get that feeling back again? Because when you send that feeling out to the world, you send out those vibrations, more of that comes back to you. And when it comes back to you, your life is going to be bloody kick ass. And that's what we want. We want that for you. Anyway, I can tell right now that the people next door are about to have a really big bang. So I've Probably time to get off my high horse, but just please listen to this. Go over, listen to it again. Try and get the message. Not only understand what I'm saying, but know it. Know it. Live it, breathe it. And live by the law of the reciprocity of life, just like I do. Okay, my darling friends, I'll talk to you next week. Bye for now. Thanks for listening to the Divorce Angel podcast. Go behind the scenes of my business to learn the secrets no one else will share. Deep dive into the Divorce Angel process and listen to our most popular episodes over at tanyasummerton.com. If you love this episode of the podcast, do me a favour and head over to iTunes and subscribe and leave a review so we can reach more people and change more lives. That's all for now, and I'll catch up with you next week.